Tucker kid. Come on, Tut-Tuck. Tut-Tuck. Tucker. Tut-Tuck. Handsome boy. You get too hot in your bits? Handsome boy. I got the fan on. Stanley's running around. Everybody's fish bidgety. Fish bidgety. Fish bidgety. They're so fish bidgety. How long have I been saying that word? I've been saying that word a long time. They're so fish bidgety. There's a game I used to play. Hi, my name's Marge. Welcome to my tiny tube on my Heyoka empath. I just like having these little conversation talks on how I feel about things. What was I talking about? Fish bidgety. There's a game in the early 2000s, 2000 to 2000, you know. I used to go meet friends in coffee houses. I'll just talk about how the world used to be, how things aren't like that no more. You can't meet people no more and go, unless you got one of those on, and I don't do that, so I'm not going to participate. You all right, bud? Come on, handsome man. Come on.
You can do it, Tuck.
Good boy.
Right, good job.
So me and a buddy would go down to the coffee shop, and I'd bring the Tucker, get out of his ear! Tucker, get out of his ear! Thank you. Lay down. Here, I'll open the window for you. Stay out of his ear. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Less volume. Less volume. And we go down to the coffee shop, and I bring the Scrabble game, and I make up my own rules to games. Not to accommodate me so that I win. My brother would do that all the time. I got story after story about that. Anyway, stacking the deck, you know. So the rules were you could make up words like fish bidgety or longitudinally, latitudinally. I don't know if that's an actual word or not. They're in alignment latitudinally. You could use the word as long as you made up the definition, and then you could make up a sentence in the word too. Yeah, it's a fun game. So, I don't know. I just have always... I spent so much time in isolation when I was a young kid, and I always imagined all the stuff I wanted to do, but I just couldn't do. For one reason, because we didn't have the money for it. Most of it was we didn't have the money for it. We were really poor. It's okay, baby. What do you need? You know, and being as poor as we were, it gave me a lot of motivation, a lot of drive, and, you know, when it comes down to it, I do what I'm supposed to do, you know, to move myself forward. Every day I try to do something that's going to make me in a better standing tomorrow, you know, sometime in the future. You know, even if it's trying not to be a jerk just for today, because I throw that jerky energy out, man, that jerky energy comes right back to me. So, I was listening to a conversation that Zach was having on the street last night with the dude in Yakima, you know, and I talk recovery here, recovery from whatever. Everybody's got something to recover from, to get pass through that's a hindrance on their spirit or their mind or their body today, you know. And everybody's got it, you know, but and a lot of people can recognize what their hindrance is, you know, their spiritual thorn, so to speak. A lot of people don't even recognize it, have no idea that they've been doing the same thing that generation after generation, that just people there just keep living their lives because that's how they were told and that's how it's always been, and there's nothing beyond that. And that's a weird place to be, as far as I can tell. So, I was listening to this guy talking, and see, I was always a drunk. That was my drug of choice. With my body chemistry, I don't know, and what it does to so many people, it removes your spirit. And I think about all the people that are void of spirit, that are in charge, that are designating who gets what in this society. It's really weird. It's really bizarre because because in your breath, you know, that's where God's source is. You know, that animates us. That's how we get the power of discernment. That's how, through our breath, through our animation, that's how we get, yeah, Stanley, discernment, we get free will, we get power of choice, we get all this stuff. And yet people set themselves up, set their lives up. He's all fired up too. So that they get to just be controlled. It's weird. And now the whole world is flushing down the toilet. Well, I'm cool because I grew up freaking, looking up at the poverty line. We can be pretty uncomfortable. We could be pretty comfortable living on rice and beans, huh, Ma? Cabbage, poor people food. It's good for you. It's probably why we have an immune system now. It's because we didn't get all that toxic crap when I was growing up. All that sugar and syrup and all that stuff. I probably eat too much sugar. I was telling Mom yesterday, I said, Mama, it's because of my birthday. It's my spike in energy in the spring and all that stuff. I know why I do it, but I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to go back to not eating like that. Because have you ever just had one off the top of my head, it doesn't matter, to me, I don't think it matters what you eat as long as the frickin' ingredients are whole and fresh and I think it's important that people eat food that's been grown around in the soil around them. Cooperation is nature's way. I got off track with the talk on Zach. So this dude was talking about Percocet 30s. And I know a lot of people that are addicted to pills. You ask them, they'll say, no, I got a handle on it. And they don't. And the way that this guy described it, like he was, alcohol used to give me the same solace. Because alcohol is the only thing that would take away my pain, my physical pain, my emotional pain. It was the only thing that would do it for me. And then that stopped working. And then I was just like, well, how am I going to live if freaking the only thing that stopped, and then, I got to take responsibility for my own life. I got a bad lower back because of all the work I did when I was in the Air Force. And lifting heavy cables and just, doing maintenance. It's just hard work, Then I went into IT and I was carrying monitors and computers all over the place. I've always just used my body. I was always, but I'm not a big person in stature. I'm small in stature, but at the same time, I've always been freakishly. Still have a lot of pain. Still, I have alleviated a substantial by just being physically mobile, just moving around and dancing, staying limber. Mom's pretty limber, huh? Yes. You're pretty agile. Mom's getting a new pair of shoes today. You ask and God gives it to you. I tell you what. And I wasn't on the ball with the same thing happened because I signed up to all those local area buy and sell, on Facebook, and I'm looking in Craigslist and stuff. And we don't need much. We have everything we need. Anything I look for is cameras, Nikons, stuff like that. I thought about buying an entertainment console, but I was just I don't really feel like spending the money on it, because things are going to get hard for a lot of people. And I know that the things like food shortages and stuff like that are going to become more prevalent because a lot of these companies just took a buyout, and a lot of food producers aren't producing anymore because they just, okay, I'll sell, whatever freaking legal mumble jumbo freaking government bureaucratic bull crap they come up with, whatever rules that, people took a buyout, so to speak. And I saw people do that in companies all the time. Yeah. I worked at big companies in IT. I know who the dirty pervs are, man. And a lot of the dirty pervs are a lot of the ones that people don't think that they are. That's how they get away with it, dude. Because people think that they're just it's just weird. And then you have the obvious ones, So, back to my recovery talk about, and the whole world is in pain right now. The whole world. And this guy was talking about these Percocet 30s, how me and other people like me talk about alcohol, about how just You don't even have to have it in the room, but if and if you're like jonesing for it and like really need a drink, all these people that really need a drink, want a drink, need a drink. I've been there. And the weirdest part is I'm one of those that once I start drinking, I don't stop. I don't stop. I don't care about bills. I don't care about rules. I don't care about regulations. Those are a lot of the same mentality of the people that freaking are in charge right now. And people that don't follow rules and that aren't disciplined in any kind of way in their life, they have no position being in any chair, in any office, freaking designating how other people should live. Have no people that can't change their own freaking tires. If they got lost on a desert, out in the desert, they couldn't make their way back and survive. They have no business freaking coming up with ways that people should live and survive. See, because they always get their way. I've had people tell me, "You're just mad because you don't get my way, or you're not getting your way." I'm like, there's a way that everybody can win, but in this circumstance, I don't. You live a lifetime of that, it gets freaking old, man. It gets freaking old because people judge. People judge by looks. I didn't know freaking I was being freaking discriminated against because I get really brown. I didn't even know I was Native American until a couple years ago. I didn't know. I didn't know I was freaking... Well, I knew I was tested in junior high, and I remember them saying... Or less than that. It was less than junior high. But they always tested for me for everything to see what was wrong with me. See why I acted the way I did. Why I said the things I said. Because I'm a freaking empath, and I read at people's energy, and I speak on people's energy, and people lie. So when I'm speaking like how they really are... and they try and cover it up with how they really aren't and their lies and BS, who's going to be the culprit? Yeah? Now we step into a world where more people are reading energy. More people are doing it. But they're playing this game because they have to freaking, I call it sucking to society's dick, sucking dick. Doing what you have to do to get by, just to get what you need, to just freaking live life, get by. It shouldn't be the way that it is. Too many people got greedy. Too many people got stingy. I was listening to this guy talk about his Percocet 30s and how the idea of it just makes him at ease. Oxygen in the blood. And I always try to get in my life with all the... Because there's a time I would have done anything. Any kind of drug. I just try anything once. And now I'm just like, no, this, you got to really be careful about what you put into your soul sack, into your body. Because our bodies yeah, they're resilient. But they ain't ready to last, you freaking do harm to them. That's going to cause harm to your body. And all these people like, oh... Poor football players who got to play a game for years and years, and now they're all freaking traumatic, burn. You did it to yourself when you became a gazillionaire. I always hear my brother in my head. Everything's you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. You asked for it you brought it on yourself. I was born, and I made Mom a promise that I wouldn't put her in a home. So everything that I do to keep her out of a freaking any kind of assisted living facility, and this is all it's just, I did it to myself. I'm just like, oh my God, I just hear these narcissists because I've been great. See, because I come from a kind and loving environment, right? So I was that weird little kid that just went out, are you my friend? You want to be my friend? I'll do whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want. I'll just be my friend. I was that weird little kid. Because I didn't get it from freaking anybody that I was related to. My brother, he wasn't the brother that stuck up for his little sister. He was the brother that freaking made things hard on purpose. Just to the lesson about how hard the world was. And I'm like, dude, I was raped as a 10-month-old baby. You ain't teaching me nothing, bitch. Because nothing you ain't ever been through. Nothing you are telling me that to get past and deal with and all that, you ain't never had to deal with. He's a good-looking brown guy. This guy has worked in the state of California for like 25 years. He's a good-looking guy. He's got his way. I'm a lesbian woman. that was like deemed a dimwit in school, but my parents didn't care. See? Turns out I wasn't an idiot. Turns out I was actually pretty smart. Nobody could teach me the way I needed to be taught. So I found my own teachers. And I went on a spiritual path, man. Because all this outside earthly crap, it just turned people dark, man. It makes people nasty. It makes people crave things and lust things and want things. And that's a wickedness. And I never wanted nothing to do with any of that. So I played the game for a little while. I did 6 years. I flipped off baby bitch Bush on 9/11. I was 26 years old when I went in. I was smart enough to know that it was all bullcrap, and then they roped us into this Operation Iraqi bullshit, and then I became part of the same thing, the same 19-year cycle. Yeah. I knew what it's all a club. Every organization, as long as the organization has a gazillion dollars and has all this money, people do what they want. People eat other people. People freaking do their satanic cult rituals all the time. That's why it's allowed to get as big as it has. That's why people are freaking signing up for Match.com, because freaking Lucifer was on it, and it's gross. And all really the Luciferian tale theater is people living just exactly how they want. Being withholding. Oh yeah, there's enough freaking abundance on this earth for everybody to just be okay. But you have the withholder. The mentality and the mindset of the person that says, and these are usually people, poli-sci majors, shit like that, people that haven't really fucking done anything hard. You never had a callus on your hand. You never freaking, you never been stranded on the side of the road and or like taken away from your mother and don't know if you're ever going to see her again. None of that. So in their world, none of that other stuff exists because they ain't experienced it, and people that are mental midgets only experience things at a level of perception that they understand. So if they don't have life experiences, there goes that understanding. All these people are speaking up, all these whistleblowers, all these people standing out speaking their truth. I've been doing it for 4 years. 4 years. 4 years. All these fundraisers, all these, all the... It's all clubs. It's all clubs. Unless people create environments that even scoundrels, even the people that they hate, that there's enough, are you going to serve them at the table too? Because that's what God wants you to do, right? Nope, you got the withholder. Nope, you got to get it on your own. I did very little to get all of what I got in my life, but you got to freaking, you got to go through the freaking ringer. You know what I mean? Everybody on this planet is equal. Everybody on this planet, when they take that first breath, because I don't know how many of us wanted to be here or not. They say the Akashic records, it's all about we choose our life and all the trials and tribulations and trudging. We do it, we ask for it to learn certain life lessons. And could be true, maybe not, who knows. I found it to be true that when I cause harm, harm comes to me. Heck, harm has come to me in life when I haven't caused harm. So I'm a little hyper vigilant. I'm a little extra. What? Why are you coming up on me like that? I'm like that. I'm one of those. Because there are too many, and people are going to get their freaking chance, man. People are going to get their chance to learn. To learn what it's like to have somebody that they're just, whatever their path is, get in your birth chart, know your own chart. I'm wearing my greasy shirt today. I got this one. This is how I knew I got to stay in the Panorama Hotel on the island of Crete for Operation Iraqi bullshit. Yeah. See, that's what they do is they create these bullshit conflicts, and then they deploy all these people, and then all these people are getting tax-free, hazardous duty pay, all this stuff, all this stuff, and it's just like, it ain't that world no more. They can't waste as much money as they waste on the stuff that is just made up. It's all pageantry, and people are figuring it out. It's all pageantry. Everything you see on TV is all scripted. Even when they say it happens in real life, it's scripted. Shootings every day. Take your guns. That ain't my freaking dude. People live by the sword, die by the sword. That ain't for me, man. That ain't for me. You don't put your hands on other human beings out of anger or lust, or you just don't. You leave people alone. Unless you have permission, you know. But turn the other cheek, it's going to be a big deal to a lot of people. It's going to be a big deal to me. To see if I can do it in every situation. Because I got fire, man. I got more masculine energy in me. And a lot of dudes are having a hard time. Because there's so much feminine energy right now in the air. There is so much feminine energy. And if you ain't been around that feminine energy, that kind, you're like, what the F is this? And a lot of times, the masculine energy will overcompensate because it's scared. And it doesn't even know what it's contending with. Because people don't know about energy. And masculine energy and feminine energy, people look at it as gender specific. I think a lot of times, as far as like when I was growing up, I had a mechanical mind, so I like mechanical things, and then people would always discourage my desire to want to do boy things. What? That ain't gender specific, It ain't. This stuff ain't gender specific. And they create these little pockets of where people should fit, and because people want to identify with something, people want to be a part of a group, especially us little weirdos that were never even part of our own family, for whatever reason. And it has nothing to do with me. It has all to do with other people. I know the person. I know what I bring to the table to society. I think that's why a lot of people Mom says people are jealous, like those freaking dumb bitches in Arizona. I'm just like, well, when the world does fall out, what are they going to have to offer? So they're in fear because they know people are seeing how it's going. So when people don't go, I'm a mechanic. I'm a freaking marksman. And then, I'm freaking, IT. I freaking route network, all of it. A badass cook. I made sweet ass freaking I do all this stuff. Wide variety. And when people that are like, well, I guess I could freaking suck dick. Fucking what are you gonna do? It's just people are fearful, and then they get I've one of my whole life, one of the things that I've aspired to do in my life is just to be okay. In any situation. Like in the hardest situation. Okay, Marge, how are you going to be okay now? And you know what it always comes down to for me? Having a faith in God. I get all confused with the Jesus and the God. And it's just God to me. Good orderly direction. Doing the next right thing. Not just for me, but for my whole collective, everything. So, I was saying earlier about how I dropped the ball about Mom's getting new shoes is that I found freaking, and on one of those sites, somebody posted like the night before last, these Adidas size 6. Hers are 6.5, but I think they're actually a little big. Because Mom wise in kids, in youth, because she was born with club feet, so her foot is this big. Her foot fits there, so. And then these came up, and I was like, and there's a pair of Puma, and she likes the support. This is what she likes. She likes, there's that meshy kind of material, and she has a pair of Vans, but she likes these. So, and then I'm just like, well, dude, God basically freaking delivered them to me. So I reached out to the lady, and she's supposed to message sometime today, and I'll go meet her to get Mom a couple of new pair of shoes. And they might be a little pricey, because everybody I could probably get them for like $20 less on freaking online. But the thing is I can't be, and because of the way I grew up, it's one thing to be frugal, but I can't be in the mindset mentality of freaking poverty conscious. I can't be there because that's dangerous for me. See, because that's when you're worried about money going out. You're putting fear, and then it stops it coming in. So I got to be real careful not to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and And I think maybe get her mom both pairs and see if they fit. And if they don't, then pass them on. You know, that's what I do. I just pass the stuff on, and well, we can't. And that's how the whole world should work. It's just like take what you need and give the rest to somebody else who could use it. You know. So I'm kind of excited about my DNA test. It got received. They started the processing. The DNA should be extracted any day. They've had my DNA for years. What?
In a day?
Any day. They'll extract my DNA to find out my bloodline, my heritage, and whatever.
Really?
You had yours done, Ma. Yeah. And so I found out my parents weren't married when I was born.
You found out what?
That you and Greg weren't married when I was born. That you had actually gotten a divorce and...
Oh, the truth always comes out.
Yeah, it did. Mom was like, no, what? I don't remember. Yeah, that was another.
Picture of you right there.
Oh, thanks, Mom. Mom likes my smile because it's hers. You want to say hi, Mom?
Hi.
Wave. Yeah, I got my hat back there. I love my new hat from one of my Earth Angels, Frank Jeans. That straw hat back there? Yeah. I wear it out in the morning and it keeps the sun out of my face.
It keeps the sun out.
Well, but I like the sun in my face. So, yeah, that's the truth always comes out. And Mom, when I was a kid, Mom used to instill stuff. It's like Mom's way more psychic than me, man. Her intuitiveness, I think it's because she had more experiences with God in close and direct. I don't know. I've had a lot, but I think she's had more. So she was like way more in attunement. She would like. I remember we were driving. I think Greg in the black truck, and his radio on his truck didn't work, and it hadn't worked. It was like a fuse or something. And Mom said, "Frickin', it'll work." And you went over and you turned it on, and it turned right on. It's stuff like that, you know. And then, like as we got older, we were in a 5-year custody suit, and that was pretty wild. It's really weird stuff happened in that, and Mom would think that like one time in Trailways, we call that the trails, to get me to harm us. And one of the storylines was actually that they were going to take, and I think my brother was cool. I think he was safe. I think it was me because I was this little weird kid. And then later, fast forward now, you hear about all the MK Ultra where they take kids and they program them and they do all these weird things because they have these special powers. Yeah.
That's going on now?
They're talking about people like me are talking about experiences that they had back then in the 70s. Yeah. Wow. Weird stuff. Like I've always... I never understood how they can say there's so many people on the planet because there's no way to know how many people are on the planet ever. But people designate the populations to be this much so that governments can say we need this much money to support this much. But what they do is they pay themselves 6-figure and then they fly all over the world and go to all these different places for work and business, and then on the street, and then the cracks of society get wider. And then they're doing weird stuff with the people on the street, but they're starting to bust it out, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's about time, huh?
Yep. Truth always comes out. Never not, you know? So there's that one time in Trailways, and you were like, you told Jerry to pretend like you lost the bus tickets. And I remember we were like hidden out in the bathroom in the foyer, and we were there. It was like we got there, I don't know, somewhere around noon, but then the bus wasn't leaving until like 7 at night. So we had to like hang out at the bus. We had to hang out at bus stations forever. And then it was just like when it got to time to go get on the bus, you're like, okay, you know, and my brother's like, oh, I don't know. You know, he did the whole thing and stuff. We never got on the bus. You know. But then and they were talking, and there's times that Mom thought that we were clones, you know. So my point is, the reality of that situation might not have been true. however, or we were actors put in place to play her children. So our storyline may not been that's what happened, but somehow mom was tuning in even back then that that's what people were doing. That people go to great lengths to freaking bullshit people. To create scenarios and pageantry and shows. Look at it. That dude freaking, he's dead. He's a 99-year-old dude that freaking killed people for 99 years. Would shoot beautiful animals in Africa, and he was so stupid because most of those freaking inbred freaking blue bloods, those people that, you know, they do terrible things. I saw the video of the naked kid trying to escape Windsor. Word is he didn't live. They do weird. When people don't have discipline, they don't have that God in them to say, you don't do that. It's harmful to other human beings or animals or living things. They don't have it because they're freaking void of spirit and they're wackadoos. They're freaking, a lot of them are coked out freaking junkies that are, freaking hunting kids in the freaking wilderness and stuff like that. Right? And they're oh, well, I'm going to wear my admiral freaking uniform to play admiral, but I'm not really an admiral. I'm really a pedophile because that's what he is, Prince Andrew, but he doesn't have to be brought to justice ever because he's what? Because he's a title that somebody in their family gave themselves. All these titles, all this, hierarchy, people putting people in higher standing than other people. You can't live like that. You can't. And now, there's going to be hell to pay. So, but if you're good with rice and beans and, freaking poor people food and making uncomfortable situations. And I've seen it because, like, these markets, I keep hearing people talk about the price of everyone talking about the price. And I know a guy who works at a lumber company. So they're freaking just stoked right now because he works for a lumber company, right? So he can get his employee discounts. But then I know other people in other parts of the country that are just now starting out building their own houses. And so what's going to happen? I wonder how many of those houses aren't going to get finished. And then I think for the companies, I think about like the people that build houses and the companies that they work for. And all these companies are serving the Lucy Fairy Tale Theater. And a lot of these people are talking about God and how they live for God. As they, you know what I mean? Some of them aren't making that declaration. So they're not, at least they're not liars, But I don't know. It's going to get weird. I hope, it's going to get weird. Huh? Yeah, because people they're not getting it. They aren't great freaking Red Dawn. Red Dawn. That movie where the freaking Russians, it only probably not going to be Russians. In freaking America, their readiness is shit because everybody just took the buyout. Everybody just took the pay. And so when people, look at all the freaking first responders everywhere, dude. I see freaking emergency personnel. They are not fit for jack shit. Don't try and pick me up. You might have a heart attack and die. With me on the gurney. Because people lost their own true purpose. They don't have any kind of purpose. And people aren't unmad. They don't know how to come up with ideas, how to do things. So when they see people that know how to come up with ideas on how to do things, and they can't recognize it, that's stupid. That's dumb. I've said that my fair share. That's stupid. That's dumb. So that's the thing is, being Heyoka, I'm contrarian. I freaking contradict myself all the time. I also know it. And I recognize when I do it. And often make declarations that I believe is. How many kids don't know how to be an adult because they don't have any freaking decent adults to look up to? You don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't steal. You know, and how many parents benefit from lying, cheating, and steal, and then they can't turn around and tell their kids not to do that because all they see is that's how it's been done. You know, not a lot of people have the strength and conviction to find their own path, especially when it goes against freaking everyone that I've ever freaking known. The only time I've been in an agreement with people, with the majority of people that I'm in the room with, is when I go to a concert and we all like the same music. You know what? But if we start talking about things, because people don't want to be accountable for themselves, they just really don't. They don't want to take responsibility for themselves. I don't. I just don't see any other way that is going to lead me to a better way if I do that. You know? So I think that's about all I got for now. It's Friday. It's Friday the 16th of April. I think 16th of April. It's a real pretty day. Temperatures dropping in a lot of places. It's going to be only a high of 40 something tomorrow, supposedly. I'm going to make some mac and cheese for me and Ma. World's greatest mac and cheese, thanks to an Earth Angel. So, I've been doing sets. Yeah. And people don't know how to deal with this Aries energy. And it's going to go away. And they're going to wish they didn't maybe squander it as much, I think. Yeah. Anyway, I was thinking about, I'm going to leave on this. Feral people. People are becoming feral, man. People become feral. Like the cats outside that have never been around human beings. They just have been born, and then they're afraid of everything.
They're afraid.
Yeah.
Fear.
Yeah. They're afraid. You know, if they didn't get the care, if they didn't get all the stuff to tell them, hey, it's okay, that's all right, it's going to be all right. If you didn't get that, you don't ever learn how to find that in the world. So some people look for it in places they shouldn't be, and they learn habits that they shouldn't do to fill up that empty space. I found a long time ago, one thing I did find is that it always comes back to God for me. Whatever spiritual path I've ever been on, whether it's a church or religious science, I talking to the Mormons, talking to the, tell me about what your perception of your religion, I'll tell you mine, just being open to other ideas and thoughts. So many people aren't. This is how it is. And there's no way around it any other possible way. And people like me, we are the people of possibility. And I try every day not to become feral. It's feral. Just jaded. Just to the point that you're like, F the world, F all this. I ain't doing it no more. I'm going to go freaking, sorry mom, I tried to, you're going to go live with so-and-so, and I'm going to go off and make freaking 6 figures.
It's like giving up.
Yeah, that's what I look at it as. So I'm gonna see if I can go out and make somebody's day better than it would have been had I not been in it. If I can do that, one person every single day. That's one of the reasons why I do these talks, because they're not necessarily for me. These talks aren't necessarily for me. It's for whatever recipient is willing to hear. And I don't care if people agree or don't disagree with what I say, just as long as people recognize that there are so many different versions of this planet than the one that we're presented. Yeah, that was a life lesson Mom taught me a long time ago. Marge, they don't like you. They're just acting like they like you because you do things for them, stuff like that. Because I wasn't always good at reading people. I'm a lot better at reading people now, and I still get duped a lot.
Because you have integrity, Marge.
Woo, hi, naked and laughing. I wasn't looking at my talkie room.
What did you say? Naked laughing?
Cheers, naked and laughing. That's her. It's Jessica's name. Like, I'm third eye activated, but my name's Marge. Jessica's naked and laughing. Hi, Quincy Smith. Every time I think of Quincy Smith, I think of Quincy, the show.
The show.
Yeah. The first forensics show, as far as I can tell. I never see. I was given Percocet when I got my wisdom teeth out, and I took them as prescribed too. And I didn't. And I was even drinking then, and I still didn't drink with them on. But now, yeah, yeah. And see, and that's the thing is weed. I was talking about that yesterday. Is because weed. I've been tapering off too, but I like to do that when like the periods of time where I really, really want to drink, I just don't do any. I just feel everything, the pain, I just go through it because I would rather feel it than dull it. When it's I do things backwards too. But I know that I've seen so many people not do their addictions for periods of time that I hope to help people not. Even because it's just everything is one day at a time. Everything is one day at a time. Even though I do things today that in hopes to put me in better standing in the future, doesn't mean I'm going to be guaranteed that future. Yeah, your low tonight is 49. Our low here tonight is going to be, this is just according to AccuWeather. God, my back, I got a lot of pain today. Tonight, 22.
Really?
Or is that tomorrow? Yeah, 22 overnight. And then that's why I just wanted to make mac and cheese tomorrow because the high's 44. That's chilly in my bits. That's the thing. Jessica, I would love, one day I'll make mac and cheese recipe, but I got this for my birthday. It's called the world's best mac and cheese. Beechers. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, but I'm pretty good cook.